Hi guys, it's Lara. Thank you so much for watching and welcome back to my channel. A really good friend of mine recently suggested that I would film a video about my kind of basic vegan pantry. Stuff that I always have at home, all the groceries that I use for my recipes, and I thought that's really a good idea, so here I am. Now if you want to know what foods I always keep at home, what is my basic vegan pantry, then please keep watching. This is something we could call my basic dry pantry. So I always have at home basmati rice. This is my favorite side dish. I love rice so much. And basmati rice is my favorite type of rice. I also enjoy jasmine rice. Then I always have some pasta at home. So I have here spaghetti and these dark noodles. They are absolutely delicious. Now, it says here on the packaging specifically that these ones are vegan. This packaging did not say, like, this is not the original packaging obviously, but on the packaging it did not say specifically that this pasta was vegan, but in the ingredients they listed only wheat, salt and water, so it is vegan. Then I always like having at home ramen noodles, especially during the cold season because I enjoy ramen soup. We always have at home tortillas. That's no surprise if you have been watching me for a while because we eat wraps and burritos a lot. I also like having at home rice paper because I like spring rolls every now and then. And then I like sandwich slices. I don't eat regular bread, but every now and then I'm craving either a peanut butter and jelly toast or an avocado toast, or I like club sandwich. So this is something we also always have at home. My personal favorite non-dairy milk is an oat drink. This is also my favorite brand, and the great thing about this brand is that it's regional because it comes from Austria. Whenever this sells out, which happens to my delight actually quite often, and that means that many people buy this instead of milk, then I go to a drugstore and I would buy this one. Now this one is being imported from Germany, that's why I prefer this one, but they both taste delicious. And instead of cream, I like using coconut milk. I love the taste and I love how creamy it is. And this is currently our vegan butter. If they wouldn't have this one, I would just go to some organic market and I would see what they have. So now the cans and the glasses and stuff like that. So I always keep at home a variety of beans. My favorite beans are Styrian beetle beans, that's how they're called if I translate it word to word, and kidney beans. I just love these two. And I like having at home bamboo sprouts. I don't have them always, but when it gets colder and when I'm cooking stir fry quite often, I like adding bamboo sprouts. I usually always have at home olives and pickles. These are, for example, also pickled mushrooms. I have a recipe for pickled mushrooms, and the pickle juice that you use for these is basically the same one that you would use for gherkins. And I also like having at home chopped tomatoes for pizza sauces and stuff like that. Now let's have a look at all our condiments and spices and sauces. I have always at home veggie soup powder. Now obviously you can make your own vegetable stock from fresh veggies, which would be even a better option, but I have to admit that I'm pretty lazy and I found my favorite vegan vegetable stock, so that's why I'm using this one. And I also like using this one in curry. Like instead of salt, I always like adding vegetable soup powder. Then sometimes I have at home miso soup, but I don't have one right now, so I can show you, but that's also something we have at home very often. Now, soy sauce is something we always have, so this is an organic brand, it's very yummy. Then we always have at home a barbecue sauce. Now, this one does not specifically say that it's vegan, but we check the ingredients. And we also like having at home ketchup. We also always have at home mustard. We simply check the ingredients if it doesn't say necessarily that it's vegan and make sure that there is no honey in it and no animal products. And pasta sauce is something that can't be missing in our pantry because especially if your schedule is tight, cooking pasta and pouring over it already cooked vegan pasta sauce is the easiest way how to have a decent dinner. Now this is my favorite pasta sauce, arrabbiata, but this one is not so super spicy. It's kind of medium spicy and that's exactly how I like it. I also like having at home herbal salt. Obviously, I also always have at home regular salt, but this one is great for potatoes and grilled veggies and stuff like that. But of course, a regular salt is a must because for some recipes, herbal salt would be not the best choice. And I like this herbs. This is a mushroom spice, and there are just different mushrooms and pepper and salt and stuff like that, and I like using it whenever I cook something with mushrooms in it because it kind of enhances the mushroom flavor. We always have at home coconut oil, olive oil, and a regular vinegar. Some people prefer apple cider vinegar, but I can't stand the smell, so that's why I rather use a regular vinegar. Now the protein sources and sweeteners and jellies. So right now we're using this unflavored protein powder from My Protein. By the way, this is not sponsored. I wish it were, but I do have an affiliate link and that's listed down below. Whenever we run out of that one and forget to order one, our drugstore also has a vegan protein shake, vanilla flavor, and it's very delicious. So yeah, it's never a big deal if we don't order that one on time because we really like this one as well. Then we like having at home a peanut butter. I was really delighted to see that this brand recently stopped using palm oil in their peanut butter. And then I like having at home a few jellies. Now my favorite jelly is raspberry jelly. Then I like blueberry jelly. I like that one only on pancakes though. But on sandwiches I prefer something that tastes a little bit sour, so the raspberry jelly is usually my choice. And then I also like apricot jelly. And these little bottles here on the bottom are so-called Flav Drops. Now these are sweeteners with a certain aroma. And then I have here vanilla stevia drops. So this is the Sweet Leaf brand. And then I have here New Naturals vanilla sweetener, also with stevia. And let's have a look at what flavors we have. So this is chocolate flavor. Then we have, I think it's banana. No, this is peanut butter flavor. Then there we have banana flavor, white chocolate, toffee, strawberry stevia, and this one is, no, this is toffee, and this is mocha flavor. Whenever we make our smoothies, instead of agave syrup or any other sweetener, we like these sweeteners because they don't have any calories, and they also add to the unflavored protein powder a nice flavor, so that's why we have that many. I think I forgot to mention agave syrup. This is something we could not live without. We use it also on our pancakes and I absolutely love the taste. So I used to eat honey before I went vegan and this is my favorite honey substitute. There is one thing that we recently discovered and that's this powdered peanut butter. We like adding this one into our smoothie in the morning because it has less fat than a regular peanut butter and it adds also a nice peanut butter flavor. So this is something we also enjoy and we always have one at home. Now here are the veggies that we usually always have at home. Potatoes, I absolutely love potatoes. It's a wonderful side dish and you can make so many great dishes with potatoes. Then I like having at home bell peppers and of course mushrooms. They can't be missing ever in any of my food related videos. Then I like having at home tomatoes, lettuce. I don't have lettuce right now, but I'm pretty sure you know how lettuce looks. Then I like having at home, whenever I'm planning to cook soup veggies. So I usually buy this little bunch and these are basic soup veggies. It's really nice because then I don't have to buy a whole celery and stuff like that. Next, I like having at home carrots because sometimes I just like munch on them. And sometimes I like adding them to mashed potatoes. I also like carrot cake, so they have to be at home all the time. Obviously scallions because I love them on a salad, I love them on a curry or on a stir fry. So this is also something that should never be missing in our home. I also always keep at home a few onions. Red onions are my favorite onions. Then I like having at home avocados, but I think avocado is rather a fruit, right? So this is kind of the wrong section, but it's already here, so why not show it? Then when it comes to garlic, I personally am very lazy. So I like buying this frozen chopped garlic because it's just the easiest way how to use garlic. But sometimes when I run out of this, then I just buy a regular garlic if they don't have that in the store, but I don't think I have peeled garlic in the last, let's say, like at least 6 months, and I don't miss it. And then we always also have at home cilantro. I always keep at home at least a small piece of ginger, and I like storing it in a glass jar. The fruits that we always have at home are bananas, because we drink every single morning a banana smoothie, and I also love bananas as a snack between meals. I also like having at home various frozen berries. They are great for baking, for chia puddings, and also you can add them into your smoothie if you want to have a little bit more than just bananas in your smoothie. Quite often I eat apples, but that's pretty much it for the fruits that we regularly have at home. I don't eat that much fruit besides bananas. And during summer I love eating watermelon and strawberries. Here I have a few things that you could call meat replacements, because I usually use them, or mainly use them, where another person would use either meat or ham or bacon or something like that. So I always have at home a regular tofu. I use regular tofu for example, a tofu scramble, or for my stir fry or curry. Sometimes I add it into a ramen soup. You can also use a regular tofu for baking and for recipes. And I like having at home always at least 1 pack of smoked tofu. The funny part is I did not like smoked tofu before I went vegan, and now I love it. This brand has 2 grades of smoked tofu, and this is the one that has a little bit heavier smoky flavor, and that's the one we personally prefer. And then I usually have at home something else, like either a vegan burger patty or dry soy strips that you have to boil, or seitan minced and stuff like that. So right now I have at home these strips. They are lovely. They are from the brand Garden Gourmet. We really like them. And recently we discovered this vegan steak. It's absolutely delicious. It has a really interesting texture that looks very close to the texture of meat. So if you're just transitioning, that might be something you would want to try. When it comes to cheese, at the beginning of being vegan, the first months, I did miss the taste of cheese. So I usually bought some cheese replacements, and I did not like all of them, but some of them were really delicious. And after a while, I have to be honest, I do not miss cheese at all. But for some dishes, I find it nice because it adds a nice flavor. So I usually have at home at least 1 kind of cheese slices. Now, my favorite slices are these Queen-style Wilmersburger cheese slices. It tastes similar to a cheddar cheese. And if they don't have that, then I usually buy these. This is the classic. But I prefer the orange kind, the Queen style. And whenever I'm planning on cooking something where I need a cheese that melts, I usually buy this vegan pizza cheese. And then when it comes to yogurt, I love coconut yogurt. I don't like soy yogurt at all. I use almond yogurt only for baking, but for stuff where I taste the yogurt, like for yogurt sauces or for yogurt on our pancakes, I prefer coconut yogurt, and that's also my favorite brand. The spices that I always have in my pantry are following: garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, paprika, turmeric, cumin, curry powder, cayenne pepper. It says oregano on this bottle, but this is a mix of 5 different spices. So there is oregano, marjoram, thyme, basil, and rosemary in it, and I just mix them together equal parts, and that's something I like using for my sauerkraut strudel or for pizza. And last but not least, I always have at home ginger, cinnamon, and cloves. And one thing that can't be missing ever in our home is a cocoa powder. For baking or for pancakes and stuff like that, I always have at home a wheat flour, cornstarch, baking soda, and baking powder, and chia seeds. Chia seeds are an amazing egg replacement. You can also use flax seeds, but I personally prefer chia seeds. Now, this bag of pistachio nuts is basically just a placeholder for this clip, because I just found out I don't have any of the nuts that we actually should have at home. So let's pretend this is something else. I usually have at home cashews, unsalted cashews, because I like making my own non-dairy milk with them sometimes. And I also like having at home a few almonds and at least a small bag of Brazil nuts. But instead of all of that, I have salted pistachios. All of these things are not necessarily things that you should have at home, but it's really nice to have them, in my opinion. So let's start over there. If you enjoy the taste of mayonnaise, then you should have at home a vegan mayo. This one is really nice, but it's not like I have some favorite brand. I just buy any vegan mayo they have, and so far I liked all of them. I also liked having vegan guacamole at home because very often the avocados here are either not ripe or too ripe. You know, it's a pain in the ass, plus they are really expensive. So when it's just for sandwiches, I just simply buy the vegan guacamole. Then I personally love seaweed caviar. This one is from IKEA. I love the taste of caviar, and this is a great way how I can enjoy it without hurting animals. Then I have here vegan sausages. Sometimes I even buy something that looks similar to a ham or something like that, but obviously plant-based. Another great thing to have at home is always vegan pizza dough, because this is something you can cook really quickly, or puff pastry. I love sauerkraut strudel, and that's something I make with puff pastry. And obviously for that I also need to have sauerkraut at home. I don't always have it at home, but whenever I'm planning on cooking strudel, then I always buy these two items. And also I always have at home a few raisins. I store them in a jar like that because I like adding raisins into the strudel, or also into granola. So sometimes I feel like eating granola instead of having smoothies. So having at home a bag of vegan oats is always a great thing, because it's always also a great and quick breakfast if you don't feel like drinking a smoothie or having a porridge or whatever you like having for your breakfast. And then I have here these puddings. These two are my favorites, coconut and dark chocolate puddings, and I also enjoy the toffee flavored pudding. This is for me personally something nice to have at home whenever I have sweet tooth, because that way I don't eat something that has gazillion calories. I simply eat a small pudding and that I'm fine. It's usually just the taste that I need, and I try not to buy chocolates or cookies and stuff like that. And then I like also every now and then buying broccoli. I like cooking broccoli soup, or I like adding pieces of broccoli into curries or stir fry. And I love celery. Now when I need it only for my soup, then I always buy the bunch of soup veggies instead of the whole celery. But recently I've been craving grilled veggies, and I love celery fries, so that's why now I have a remaining piece of the celery. So these are really lovely extras. And obviously these are just a few examples that just popped into my mind. Alright guys, so this is our basic vegan pantry stuff that we almost always have at home, or stuff that we buy very often. And obviously we also buy other stuff, sometimes seasonal stuff, or sometimes simply things that we see and feel like, oh, we could eat this today. And I hope that this is going to be helpful to anyone who is just starting out with vegan cooking, or for anyone who thinks about going vegan. And to make things even easier for you, I made a PDF file that you can download for free. Link is down below. It's basically a list of the items that I have shown you today, and I added a few things that I've forgotten to show you and to tell you about. And I also added a list of meals that you could make with all the stuff that I've shown you today. Now the list is actually quite long. I came up with 32 ideas, and that was just off the top of my head. Now you can make stir fry with the things that I've shown you today: curry, ramen soup. You can make noodle stir fry, wraps, burritos, summer rolls, sandwiches. I'm reading this because it's a lot. You can make a club sandwich with that, avocado toast, Buddha bowl if you add some fresh lettuce, various salads, soups, pancakes. You can make muffins, different cakes, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, smoothies, protein shakes, chia puddings. You can also cook mashed potatoes and serve them with either tofu or sausages. You can make bean loaf, a bean burger. You can make yourself oats for breakfast. Then obviously pasta with your favorite vegan pasta sauce. And if you have vegan pesto, you can have pasta with pesto. You can make mac and cheese, bean bread spread. You can make grilled veggies and make yourself a lovely yogurt sauce with garlic to go with the grilled veggies. That's something we enjoy a lot. You can make fries or potato wedges, potato pancakes, chili sin carne, one pot pasta. I think I already said veggie soups, a tofu scramble. So this should be like something around 32 ideas. So that's quite a lot. That should give you enough ideas, at least for the beginning. So I hope that this video has been helpful. If that was the case, don't forget to give the video a thumb up, because it always helps my channel a lot. You can also subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. And as usual, I will list and link down below a lot of stuff that might be useful or interesting for you. And if you have any questions, simply write them in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much and see you soon. Bye.